time for Brewster Whitecaps baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Welcome to Dorrin Park, the home of the Bourne Braves. Brewster and Bourne playing each other for the third time in 2 days today in this 6 o'clock start. I'm Maura Sheridan alongside Carter Woodeel, Aiden Doyle on sidelines today. We've also got Koki Riley with us. He'll be giving us some updates later in the game, but for now, a bit of an oddity in the Cape League. These teams, two teams essentially playing a 3-game series. Starts with a sweep from Brewster yesterday in a doubleheader. Those were only 7-inning games, but actually the first one ended up going 8, ended with a walk-off homer from Marty Costas, a 2-run homer that gave Brewster a 6-4 win, and then the second game ended in a tight one once again, but Brewster able to keep it just in 7 and squeak out a 4-3 win in that one. But today, they'll send Connor Higgins to the mound. Higgins has only allowed 1 earned run in his time in Brewster. He's had 2 starts so far. This will be his 3rd. And talking to him, he was a little surprised that he was getting the start today, but with Zach Lingenfelder out of the order, kind of pushed everybody forward and gave people starts with a little less rest than expected. But this should be a good one again from him. We've talked to Jamie Shevchik multiple times about Connor Higgins, and he has been so impressed by what he's seen. He predicts he's going to be an all-star, so should be another great one from Connor Higgins.
Yeah, Jamie Shevchik always has high expectations for pitchers. They can have good control. I mean, Higgins has been terrific. I think it was more sharp in that opening night start, wound up walking away with that Coca-Cola Pitcher of the Week award, and then was a little on and off in that second outing, but able to keep it in control. For him, he's got a decent fastball and some good off-speed pitches to complement it, but it's all about command. If he can command his pitches well, it's going to be tough for the Bourne Braves to touch him.
And then on the mound for Bourne today, Ian Miller out of Harvard. He's an Ivy League guy. He actually pitched 6 complete games. I know we were talking about this for Harvard before, which seems like this great stat, but it turns out in the Ivy League they only play 7-inning games, a very interesting thing they do down there. But so Ian Miller getting the start for Bourne. He's already had 2 appearances for the Braves in relief, but getting his first start for Bourne today.
Yeah, and it was interesting. I was talking to some of the other broadcasters that are going to be here on the Bourne Braves side, and they said that when he came in those relief pitches, appearances, a lot of the times he would rely on his slider. It was really his go-to pitch, and his fastball was kind of there to mix up the process, usually kind of the opposite of what you usually see from a 2-pitch reliever. So it's going to be intriguing to see how he handles that in his first start coming in. Obviously, he's going to have to be called upon to throw a wider arsenal of pitches, and we'll see exactly what he decides to do.
A very windy day here in Bourne. We'll get you started on the lineups for Brewster. Batting first, back in the lineup after missing the second of a doubleheader, AJ Graffinino. He'll play short, his usual position for the Whitecaps. Batting second, Kyle Daughtris, 3rd baseman today. 3rd in the lineup is Mickey Gasper. He's been a constant for the Whitecaps, only missed 1 game this season. He'll be catching behind the plate. Batting 4th, Nick Dunn, 2nd baseman. 5th, Marty Costas, the right fielder. And as the wind blows my page away, Chandler Taylor will be batting 6th in the lineup today. Michael Curry, designated hitter, batting 7th. Hunter Bishop batting 8th. He'll be in center field today. And rounding up the lineup is Devin Foyle out in left field today. And over to the Bourne Braves starting lineup, Grant Williams will be playing second base for the Braves. Turner Brown playing shortstop, batting 2nd in the lineup. Batting 3rd, Scott Schreiber, right fielder for the Braves today. Lyle Lynn behind the plate, catching number 28 for the Bourne Braves. Then Richie Pelosius, left fielder, batting 5th today. Kevin Radzowicz, designated hitter, batting 6th. Batting 7th, Stephen Brickhouse, and batting 8th, Jared Triolo, 3rd baseman for the Braves today. And he was the leadoff guy yesterday, but now he's batting 9th in the order. Jamison Hanna, center fielder for the Braves, rounding out that lineup. And I know these 2 teams have 2 times already in the span of 2 days. Are going to play the 3rd one today. But what stood out to you yesterday about this Braves team?
Well, they're a complete team offensively, and it's tough because it feels like Brewster was able to dodge a couple of bullets in those 2 games. 2 late comebacks from Bourne, and then 2 close finishes. So Bourne will be looking to finally complete a comeback, or maybe just front. I'm sure that's what Harvey Shapiro would rather have.
So once again, Brewster swept the doubleheader yesterday, 2 wins, and they're looking for their 3rd today on the road in Bourne. We're running a little late here in Bourne, but we'll get you started on this game coming up. But as for the Whitecaps, Hunter Bishop, he stepped up yesterday and talking to his teammate Marty Casas, he's so excited that Bishop's finally getting the hits, and he got 2 walks yesterday in the first game of the doubleheader. So what is it about Bishop that you think is so important that he gets involved in this lineup?
Well, he's just another hitter that can get on base for Jamie Shevchik's club. This is a team that's been pitching and hitting very well. Defense has been what's let them down, and Hunter Bishop is terrific defensively. He really kind of fills what this team needs. Just a center fielder who can be a solid spot in that lineup. And we were talking about this a lot during the doubleheader about when Hunter Bishop first came on the Cape, he was struggling. He was swinging to pitches that were out of his zone. You could tell, and I'm sure more you were talking to Coach Shevchik about this, that he was getting a little down on himself about it, and he put together some great at-bats in that last doubleheader. Really seems like he's seen the ball well.
All right, we'll take a quick break as we hear the national anthem, and when we come back, more baseball. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan.
Just moments away from the first pitch here at Durand Field in Bourne, Massachusetts. These two teams set to play the third game of what is essentially a three-game series. Today is a makeup game for a rainout a week ago. This will be the first makeup game this week. There's another one Thursday against Chatham. There was two rainouts in a row for these Brewster Whitecaps. Just an unlucky 2 days. The first one was really a rainout. The second one was just, the field was just not in good condition as AJ Graffinino comes in, takes the batter's box to lead off for the Brewster Whitecaps. Graffinino, as I mentioned before, did not play in the second of a doubleheader, kind of a rarity. He's really been one of the only players that's been in essentially every game for the Whitecaps, but I was told by Coach Shevchik he just needed a break. First pitch from Miller is way outside on the left. Fastball from Miller. It's a 1-0 count to AJ Graffinino. Here comes the pitch, and that one's in for a strike right up the middle. Graffinino did not swing at it, so it's a 1-1 even count here for the first batter, first inning. 1-1 pitch, a swing and a miss from Graffinino. So he's behind in the count. It's a 1-2.
And there's that first slider from Miller. We heard about how that was really his go-to pitch when he was a reliever earlier this season.
The 1-2 pitch, a swing and a miss from AJ Graffinino, is actually a foul. Just tipped that one. A little bit of a lucky tip there, and so that's keeps him alive in the batter's box. 1-2 pitch again is hit high into right center field, and it will be picked up by Jamison Hanna for the first out of the first inning.
That's kind of a funny play, Hanna. That was right out to straightaway center. Hanna didn't really have to move a muscle, just kind of stared at that baseball, made the play.
Just stuck his glove up there like it was no big deal. To get the first out, now Kyle Daughtris is up to bat for the Whitecaps. Daughtris coming off a good performance in the doubleheader. In the second game, he got on base twice for a double and a single, 2 for 4 on the day. First pitch to Daughtris is low and out for ball number 1. Daughtris out of UNC, transferred there from UCLA, so 2 beautiful schools he's been a part of. 1-0 pitch, in for a strike. A nice breaking ball there from Ian Miller.
Yeah, a slow curve. That was interesting. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how Ian Miller approaches the batters pitching-wise.
1-1 pitch for a ball, so it's a 2-1 count. Miller, a righty from Harvard, making his first start on the mound for the Bourne Braves. 2-1 pitch to Daughtris on its way, and that one's another ball, so Daughtris way ahead. It's a 3-1 count to the third baseman. Daughtris digging in, getting set up. 3-1 pitch is low for ball 4, and Kyle Daughtris makes his way to first base, and the Whitecaps have their first runner on of the game.
Another early walk from a Brewster hitter. We've seen those the past few games here where they've been able to get first inning base runners. This team has been very good at putting runs on the plate early in games. The question has been, can they continue?
Speaking of getting on base, Mickey Gasper is known for that as he takes the first pitch for ball 1. Mickey Gasper up for the Whitecaps in the batter's box. He has been stellar this season, batting .406. He has 2 home runs and 12 RBIs. We saw 2 of them in the second doubleheader yesterday. 1-0 pitch is high for ball number 2 to Mickey Gasper. Runner on first. 1 out here in the top of the first inning. No score here in Bourne, Massachusetts. Miller getting a little talk from his infield teammates. Settles back into the mound. getting ready for the 2-0 pitch, and here it comes. And that one's high again, so that's ball 3. Ian Miller getting behind in the count to 2 batters in a row here.
Gasper has made it very clear early on in this season that if you're going to want to get him out, you have to throw him strikes. He's very good place discipline.
And he'll not swing on that one, but that one's a strike. So it's a 3-1 count to Mickey Gasper, rising senior out of Bryant. Many, many accolades at Bryant. NEC Player of the Year this year, to name just one. And here comes ball 4 to Mickey Gasper. That one will get behind Lao Lin, and Gasper will just walk to first base. So now runner on first, and now runner in scoring position for the Whitecaps off of 2 walks in a row from Ian Miller. And here comes Nick Dunn for the Whitecaps. Just one out here in the top of the first inning.
Yeah, Gasper's been terrific at getting on base and drawing walks in his past few games. Big spot here early in this game. Feel like we've been saying that every time the Whitecaps have played here. Bigger first inning spot here.
First pitch to Nick Dunn is low and out for ball number 1. The Whitecaps got up early on the Chatham Anglers a couple games ago now, 4-0. Then they got up early yesterday in the second of a doubleheader, 3-0 in the first inning. So first innings have been big for the Whitecaps in the past couple games. The 1-0 pitch to Dunn. That one just misses on the left corner there, so it's a 2-0 count once again. Ian Miller throwing a lot of balls here to start off this game. Runner on first and second for the Whitecaps. Just one out, no score. 2-0 pitch. Misses on the left side again, so that's a 3-0 count here to Nick Dunn out of Sunbury, Pennsylvania. Second baseman for the Whitecaps today, his traditional spot. Miller getting set, keeping his eye on Daughtris, but he'll release on the 3-0 count. And now the bases are loaded on 3 walks in a row from Ian Miller to start this game. He got Graffinino out on a pop fly to center, and the rest of the batting order has walked today.
And if you are the Bourne Braves, this is the last guy you want now, as Marty Costas is coming up for Brewster with the bases juiced. And you're right, for the Whitecaps, this is about as bases loaded rally as you're going to find, drawing 3 walks. Most of the pitches were not really all that close. I think Mickey Gasper had a couple of good takes in his at-bat. That last 2 pitches there to Dunn were both well out of the zone. So Lynch is having trouble locating, and in fact, it looks like Jordan Tabachman, the pitching coach, just went out to give him a couple of words. Very quick visit as he's now turning back around.
Marty Costas went yard yesterday in a walk-off 2-run homer to beat this team in the first of a doubleheader. So obviously a guy they're familiar with, not in a good way. And as I talked to Costas, and he very jokingly said, when I go big, when I do it big. So Marty Costas, somebody who has a lot of power there as he goes on the first pitch, so it's an 0-1 count. Finally Miller getting ahead against a hitter today.
Yeah, did just get Costas to bite on that slider, but just barely. Checked his swing, went around.
1 out here, no score, but bases loaded for Marty Costas. 0-1 pitch to Costas. Didn't go on that one. Almost thought about it, but didn't quite go around, so it's a 1-1 count.
Yeah, that looked like a very similar pitch to what he swung and missed at earlier. Miller trying to go back into the well. Costas does have a reputation for being a free swinger.
The 1-1 pitch is in for a strike right off the left corner. High and towards the outer edge there. But that's strike number 2 to Marty Costas, and it's a 1-2 count with the bases loaded here. One-two pitch is low in the dirt for ball number 2, so the count's even. Costas had 13 home runs for Maryland this year. He already has 2 on this season. Somebody with a lot of power. Here comes pitch. And that one's hit high center field, and it is dropped. So here comes Kyle Daughtris. It is caught. It looks like. It's hard to tell, the sun kind of peeking over there, but it's caught, and it will be a sac fly as Kyle Daughtris comes in to score the first run of this inning.
How often do you see a sac fly to shortstop? That's what we saw just in a terrific play by Turner Brown over the shoulder. Had to deal with hand of a center fielder running out into shallow center and was able to put the baseball away, but he wound up tumbling down to the grass, gave Daughtris plenty of time to score from third on the play. So in a kind of roundabout way, Costas does get the job done. The Whitecaps are ahead 1-0.
Marty Costas gets an RBI. And Chandler Taylor now up in the batter's box for the Whitecaps. He shows bunt on the first pitch, then takes it back, so it's a 1-0 count on a ball from Ian Miller. Runners on first and second now after Kyle Daughtris just came home from a sacrifice fly from Marty Costas. 1-0 pitch on the outer edge, good for ball 2. Two outs here. In the top of the first inning, the Whitecaps on top of the Braves, 1-0. Miller with the 2-0 pitch, and that one misses on the left again, so that's a 3-0 count to Chandler Taylor.
It's been roughly 2 balls for every strike that Miller has thrown so far in this game. Really having trouble locating with pretty much the full arsenal of pitches up to this point.
3-0 pitch is in for a strike, so that's strike 1 to Chandler Taylor. Mickey Gasper on second for the Whitecaps, and Nick Dunn on first. Chandler Taylor takes that next pitch for ball 4. And once again, the bases are loaded off of another walk from Ian Miller. He has 4 today already. He's only faced 6 batters.
Just doesn't seem to have his best stuff right now. And for Brewster, a team that largely, except for a couple of players, is known for being patient in situations that merit it. So far, it's been pretty easy. Just go up there and take.
Michael Curry now enters the game for Brewster. He takes the first pitch in for a strike. It's an 0-1 count. Bases loaded for Curry, 2 outs. The Whitecaps already drove 1 run in off of a pop fly, sacrifice fly from Marty Costas that brought in Kyle Daughtris. Second pitch in for a strike, a nice breaking ball from Ian Miller.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of those curveballs that have been able to be dropped in for strikes. That's been his best pitch so far, just because he's been able to locate it, get it in the zone.
The 0-2 pitch on its way, and that is in for a ball. Framed nicely by Lyle Lynn, but couldn't quite get it in the strike zone. So it's a 1-2 count to Michael Curry out of Gainesville, Georgia.
Looks like Nick Johnson, the righty out of Rhode Island, has already taken some tosses out there in the Bourne bullpen.
It's only the top of the first inning, folks. And the 1-2 pitch to Curry is in for ball number 2. So it's an even count at 2. Bases loaded here for the designated hitter for the Whitecaps. 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Mickey Gasper and Nick Dunn in scoring position for the Whitecaps, and Curry will foul one in a nice line drive with the foul line on the third base line, so that will not stay fair.
Little skip to my Lou from Gasper, the runner at third, had to hop right over that baseball. Didn't want to be called out.
Nice agility from Gasper. Michael Curry still in the batter's box for the Whitecaps. Count even at 2. 2-2 pitch from Miller. Hit in the same spot, and that hits Mickey Gasper right in what looks like the shin. He's going to try to walk it off, but right the same play we just saw, but this time it really did hit him.
And he was in foul ground, so he'll be able to stay where he is at third, but that's one of the toughest places to get knocked. They don't call it the hot corner for nothing, Mora.
Yeah, that's all bone there, and he's in pain, but he's fine. He's over at the third base. This time he's staying right on the base.
A little smile from Ryan Smythe, the third base coach there.
Curry talking to his teammate, making sure he's okay, and now Curry will enter the batter's box again. Still a 2-2 count. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Whitecaps on top of Bourne, 1-0. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. That one's fouled yet again. 3 fouls in a row for Michael Curry. That one hits the netting right behind him. So Curry really working Miller here. Miller getting ready for this 2-2 pitch yet again. And this time Curry hits a little blooper, stays in the infield, and it cannot be fielded by the shortstop, Turner Brown. So here comes Mickey Gasper, and that means it is Whitecaps on top of Braves 2-0 off a little RBI single from Michael Curry.
That is going to be scored a single. Turner Brown booted it, but it looked like even if he was able to field that baseball cleanly, then it still would have been an infield hit for Curry. So now the Whitecaps have their first hit of the game. They've already got a pair of runs, and the base is still loaded.
And that's 7 RBIs on the season for Michael Curry. Hunter Bishop takes his first pitch from Ian Miller for ball number 1. Bases loaded for the Sun Devil. 1-0 pitch. Another ball, and Lau Lin will throw it to third to try to get Nick Dunn out, but it's Dunn is safely back at third. It's a 1-1 count to Bishop. Had a pair of walks yesterday. Start off the first game. RBI walk, actually. 2 RBI walks to Bishop's name yesterday.
That's true.
It's a 2-1 count to Hunter Bishop, rising sophomore. Miller taking his time, 2-1 pitch. Bishop thought about it and checked himself, so that's ball 3. 3-1 count to Hunter Bishop, and once again, Ian Miller finding himself behind in the count. And Hunter Bishop is in a position to have yet another RBI walk right now.
Ian Miller walks 20 hitters in 61 innings at Harvard.
Bishop fouls that one off the third base line, hitting the netting there right next to the snack stand.
So a lapse in control like this is pretty unusual from him.
3-2 count to Hunter Bishop. Nick Dunn in scoring position, as is Chandler Taylor. Here comes the 3-2 pitch, and a swing and a miss from Hunter Bishop, but they'll have to throw it to first to get him out, and they will, so that's 3 outs. But 2 runs come in for the Whitecaps to start off this first inning. They're up 2-0 on the Braves. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan.
For the Braves, the second baseman number 4 from Kennesaw State University, Grant Williams.
Welcome back. The Whitecaps on top of the Braves 2-0 after just a half an inning of play here in Bourne, Massachusetts. Connor Higgins takes the mound for the Whitecaps. He's already played 2 games for Brewster. And Grant Williams, Turner Brown, and Scott Schreiber due up for the Braves. Grant Williams digs in. First pitch from Higgins in for a strike. As we mentioned before, Connor Higgins works quickly. Ahead in the count 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch, and that one's low and out for ball number 1. It's a 1-1 count. Williams calls for time in the batter's box. And the 1-1 pitch on its way, and that one also low out in the left corner. Same place as last time, so it's a 2-1. Nobody on for the Braves. Grant Williams, a leadoff hitter, calling for time yet again. Connor Higgins about to wind up, and then Williams calling for time. He knows how quickly Connor Higgins works.
He works a mile a minute out there.
2-1 pitch is fouled off into the dirt behind him for strike number 2, so it's an even count. Again, the Whitecaps just had a 2-run inning. 2-2 pitch from Higgins is a high fastball for ball number 3. And the 3-2 pitch is high, and so that's ball number 4. Connor Higgins starts out the inning by walking leadoff hitter Grant Williams.
The Beach House Grill at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa is the perfect spot for a seaside lunch or evening clam bake. A proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Turner Brown, the shortstop for the Braves, digs in. First pitch to Brown is low and out for ball 1. Runner on first. Connor Higgins just walked Grant Williams. Start off bottom of the first inning. Brown getting ready for the second pitch, which is in for a strike. 1-1 count. Turner Brown out of Whiteville, North Carolina. He's a switch hitter. Batting righty today, and Higgins in for ball 2. So it's a 2-1 count. Not typical of Higgins to get behind in the count 2 batters in a row. He just walked Grant Williams, as I mentioned before. 2-1 pitch is hit right to Nick Dunn, who will field it over to second. And in for a double play, gets Grant Williams out, and then Turner Brown running to first. So that's 2 outs. Hit there for the Whitecaps.
Nicely done there by Nick Dunn. Waited for that ball to come to him, which was a little unusual, but I think he saw the runner coming in from first base, didn't want to have a collision in the baseline, and knew he had enough time to get Turner Brown with a nice throw from the shortstop, Graffinino, and that's just what Graffinino was able to provide, and they exchanged some smiles as the 3-hitter Schreiber digs in.
First pitch to Schreiber is hit over to third base. Kyle Daughtris makes the catch over to first and Chandler Taylor and gets him out. So Connor Higgins retires the side here. Start off the bottom of the second inning. We're through 1, and the Whitecaps are on top of the Braves 2-0. You're listening to Whitecaps Radio Network.
Do you know what that sound is? That's your new digital marketing department. And that'll be your new web designer. And that's Haibu, where these experts are joined by many more, from web designers to search marketing specialists who work hard to get your business noticed online and on mobile. Best of all, Haibu can do it all for you, or give you the tools to do it yourself. To find out more, go to haibu.com. That's HIBU.com, or call 855-464-HIBU. Oh, that'll be your next new customer. Haibu, made for business.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Waddell and Maura Sheridan.
After one inning of the Whitecaps Braves 2-0. Devin Foyle batting ninth in the lineup, set to start off this second inning for the Whitecaps. AJ Graffinino and Kyle Daughtris also set to come around again. They already batted in the first inning. Ian Miller still on the mound for the Braves. His first pitch is in for a ball number 1. It's a 1-0 count. Devin Foyle start off this second inning. The 1-0 pitch is hit to first base, right to the first baseman, and he is able to hit it over to Ian Miller, who gets out. And Devin Foyle, after pitch number 2, grounds out.
And that's what Ian Miller's looking for. He wants to get that soft contact, just pounded that one into the dirt there. It's a benign hitter. Foyle, an easy ground ball to field. Problem is you got to throw strikes to get that, and able to get Foyle to swing at a pitch in the zone there.
AJ Graffinino, the leadoff hitter, now up for the Whitecaps. First pitch from Miller is a ball that kind of gets past Lyle Lynn, but no worries. Nobody on for the Whitecaps here with 1 out in the top of the second inning. Graffinino had a pop fly to center field to start out this Whitecaps first inning, and then just a bunch of walks from Ian Miller, 4 in the first inning. And he'll throw ball number 2 to Graffinino. That one's way out.
Yeah, those first 2 pitches, one in the dirt, and then that one, as you said, more high and outside.
The 2-0 pitch is hit by Graffinino high into right field, and it is caught by Scott Schreiber. So that's out number 2 for the Whitecaps. 1-2 gone in this inning for Ian Miller.
Schreiber had to shield his eyes from the sun on that play. It looks like the outfielders are going to have to deal with that for a while. This is one of the few ballparks in the Cape League where we can have the shadow go across home plate and still have the pitcher be bathed in sun. That's always bad news if you're a hitter. You're in the dark, the pitcher's in the light. It's hard to make out the baseball, and we may see some of that in this game.
Up next for the Whitecaps, Kyle Daughtris. First pitch to him is swung on and fouled high behind the netting in right field, almost to the lights here at Doran Stadium. So it's an 0-1 count to Daughtris. The Whitecaps scored their 2 runs of the first inning off a sac fly from Marty Costas and a RBI single from Michael Curry. Daughtris came home to score the first run for the Whitecaps. Second pitch from Miller in for a ball, so it's a 1-1 even count to Kyle Daughtris. 1-1 pitch, in for a strike on the lower corner. So it's a 1-2 count. Two outs here, nobody on in the top of the second inning. Whitecaps on top of the Braves 2-0. And a swing from Kyle Daughtris and fouled off right behind him, so he stays alive. It's a 1-2 count still. Daughtris batting .269 in his CCBL season so far. Typically playing third base for the Whitecaps. It's a 1-2 pitch. Is hit right to the shortstop, Turner Brown. He'll throw it over to Stephen Brickhouse for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down for Ian Miller after a rough first inning. He makes up for it in the second. No runs allowed and no hits from Ian Miller in the second inning. The Whitecaps still on top of the Braves, 2-0. You're listening to Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan.
Lyle Lynn set to bat and start off this bottom of the second for the Braves. First pitch from Connor Higgins in for a strike to his road roommate, Lyle Lynn, the two of them teammates for the Arizona State Sun Devils. Second pitch to Lyle is hit hard to Marty Costas in right field, but that's in for out number one. Marty Costas makes that grab no problem. So Connor Higgins gets out his teammate for out number one. Nobody on for the Braves to start off the bottom of the second inning.
It looked like it had some carry to it. The wind is really hard to kind of put a direction on it. But if I were to guess, I'd say maybe out toward left as opposed to right.
Richie Pelosius in the batter's box for the Braves. First pitch from Connor Higgins, 1-0. 1-0 pitch comes from him, and that's a strike. As I mentioned before, Connor Higgins wastes no time out there on the mound. I gotta be on my toes here to make these calls. It's a 1-1 pitch, here it comes, and it's fouled high to the left side behind the media center here. So it's a 1-2 count. 1-2. A swing and a miss for the first strikeout for Connor Higgins. Gets Richie Pelosius, the center fielder for the Braves, and here comes Kevin Radzowicz.
Yeah, just able to run that fastball up against Palacios. Is that one well located up above the zone? That's one of the pitches that can really work well for Connor Higgins. He's got life on that fastball. Doesn't have a ton of it, but when he's really working, there can be a little bit, just enough for a foul tip like that.
First pitch to Kevin Radzowicz. Not good in the strike zone, so that's ball number one. It's a 1-0 count. 2 out, nobody on for the Braves, the bottom of the second inning. Second pitch is way high. That gets past Mickey Gasper, but nobody on, so he didn't run back for that or anything.
Talk about a fastball up. That one was a good 2 feet above the hitter's head and wound up rebounding off this brick backstop that we've got here in Bourne.
2-0 pitch is in for ball 3.
It's one of the few ballparks that really does have a solid brick backstop, which hitters and runners have to take into account.
3-0 pitch right up the middle for strike number 1. It's a 3-1 count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Whitecaps on top of the Braves 2-0. And he'll walk him. Connor Higgins walks his second batter of the day. Kevin Radzowicz gets on base.
Now batting.
If you like walks, this is the game for you. That's the 6th that we've seen from the 2 starters so far in this game. We saw 4 in the first frame from Miller, and now 2 from Connor Smith.
And Brickhouse will hit his first pitch right up the first base line, fielded by Nick Dunn. Higgins tried to get there, but he didn't get there in time. So that's a single for Steven Brickhouse on the first pitch he saw from Connor Higgins, and that's the first hit for a Brave.
Kind of strange. Chandler Taylor wound up feeling that baseball right at Nick Dunn's position. He scampered over to get it, and there was nobody to recover. For Connor Higgins, a left-handed pitcher, his follow-through takes him over toward the third base side. That certainly doesn't help, but wasn't particularly close in terms of winning the foot race back to first base. Strange play.
First pitch to Jared Trio is in for a ball, so it's a 1-0 count. Runners on first and second off of a walk and a little miscommunication, and that led to a single on the last batter. Second pitch in for a strike from Higgins. Higgins not used to walking people. He struck out in his 10 innings pitched for the Whitecaps so far. This is his 3rd start in Brewster. It's a 2-1 count now. The wind really gusting here in Bourne, Massachusetts. Higgins keeping his eye on the runners, and he'll throw the 2-1 pitch, and that's in for ball 3. So it's a 3-1 count. Connor Higgins getting behind here early. Triolo potentially could load the bases here. 3-1 pitch in for a strike. So it's a full count. to Triolo, the third baseman for the Braves. 2 outs here, though. The Whitecaps on top of the Braves, 2-0. 3-2 pitch, hit Chandler Taylor, who it bounces off his glove. And here comes Richie Pelosi, who will score. Looks like an there from Chandler Taylor, it just bounced off his glove. And Steven Brickhouse is moving to third. Pelosio scores, and Triolo able to get to second base for a double off of an error.
That just, yeah, so that's a two-base error, and that just really ate up Chandler Taylor at first base. Took maybe a tricky hop once it reached the infield grass, but another error by a Whitecap first baseman. We've seen plenty of E3 so far this year. No natural first baseman on this team.
First to Jamison Hanna, in for a strike.
That run, of course, is unearned.
It's an count to Jamison Hanna. Connor Higgins only gave up 1 earned run, and a swing and a miss there from Hanna on the second pitch. So it's an 0-2 count. Runners on second and 0-2 count here. 0-2 pitch on its way. Fouled out by Hanna. Right into him, went straight back, and so he'll stay alive in this matchup here. 0-2 count. Hanna batting .333. No home runs. He does have 2 RBIs, but he'll swing and a miss. Won't get one there. Connor Higgins strikes out Jamison Hanna after 1 run comes in off of a first base error for the Whitecaps. So it's 2-1. Whitecaps still on top of the Braves. You're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network. Mickey Gasper set to start off the 3rd inning for the Whitecaps. He is the catcher today for the Whitecaps. We just saw the Braves score their first run of the game in the bottom of the 2nd inning off of an error at first base from Chandler Taylor. A bit of a rough inning for Chandler Taylor, also just a bit of a miscommunication there that let someone on. And the first pitch from Miller is in for a ball. Mickey Gasper got on base earlier in the 1st inning off of one of Miller's 4 walks. Start off this game for the Braves. Now it's a 2-0 count to Mickey Gasper. Third pitch in for ball 3, so it's a 3-0 count. Mickey Gasper, we also saw him in a kind of scary play get hit from his teammate Michael Curry in a foul. Got him right in the shin, but he seems fine. Walked it off, no problem. 3-0 pitch is low in the dirt for ball 4, and Mickey Gasper draws a walk again.
Dunkin' Donuts and the Cape Cod Baseball League want to keep players and fans running, both on and off the field, all season long. Celebrate the summer of coffee at your local Dunkin' Donuts with their latest flavor lineup, including butter pecan, coconut cream pie, and s'mores.
To start off this third inning, Mickey Gasper gets on in a walk, and Nick Dunn now up for the Whitecaps. First pitch to Dunn is a ball yet again, so it's a 1-0 count to the second baseman for the Whitecaps. No outs here. Whitecaps on top of the Braves 2-1. And the second pitch is in for another ball, so Lyle Lynn's going to go have a little conversation with his pitcher, Ian Miller.
Looks like there's double-barreled action in the Braves bullpen right now. Back up is Nick Johnson.
We're just in the top of the third inning. Ian Miller's allowed 2 runs, but he has walked 4. Whitecaps scored off of a sac fly from Marty Costas and an RBI single from Michael Curry. It's a 3-0 count to Nick Dunn. Mickey Gasper on first base. No outs here in the top of the third inning for Ian Miller. Getting ready to throw the 3-0 pitch. He does, and that's in for a strike. So it's a 3-1. Nick Dunn, another one who walked earlier today. He came home. And it's another walk in a very high and outside pitch from Ian Miller for walk number 6 of this game. And now we got a runner on first and a runner in scoring position in Mickey Gasper.
And it looks like this is going to be it for Ian Miller.
Yep, we got the signal, and so when we come back, we'll have the new pitcher for the Braves for you. But for now, we'll take a break. You're listening to Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Waddell and Maura Sheridan.
Well, we just saw a pitching change for the Bourne Braves. Ian Miller comes out after just two innings, no outs he got in the third. So here comes Nick Johnson, another righty for the Braves. He plays for University of Rhode Island, so another New England guy out of Worcester, Massachusetts. He'll take the mound with nobody out and runners on first and second for the Whitecaps. Marty Costas due up for Brewster. Mickey Gasper at second. Nick Dunn at first. Both of them walked. They both walked twice today. Here comes Marty Costas, who has an RBI on the day off of a sac fly, responsible for one of the Whitecaps' 2 runs. They're up 2-1 on the Braves. Johnson getting set up there in the mound, looking over at Mickey Gasper, and here comes his first pitch. That's in for a strike. Marty Costas didn't swing at that one, so it's an 0-1 count.
Johnson hasn't had a ton of long outings so far this season, just 3 innings pitched in his 2 appearances, but he's a starter by trade at Rhode Island, made 10 starts this past spring, so he can go long if needed.
It's only the top of the 3rd inning here, and here comes the 0-1 pitch from Johnson in for the first ball of his outing, so it's a 1-1 count. Runners on first and second. Mickey Gasper in scoring position for the Whitecaps. 1-1 pitch, in for a strike. Breaking ball there from Johnson.
Yeah, well placed off-speed pitch right at the knees to Costas.
Kind of froze Costas on that one, so it's a 1-2 count. Marty Costas, batting .210 on the year in the CCBL, does have 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. And a swing and a miss there from Marty Costas. Nick Johnson starts out his time on the mound today with a strikeout.
That was a well-placed breaking ball there. Costas just couldn't quite hold up. Thought that maybe he would see another pitch in the zone like he did the previous pitch, perhaps. Not so, it was below the knees.
So that's out number 1 for the Braves. Runners on first and second for now Chandler Taylor. Again, he walked. Seems like a common thing I'll probably say today in his first at-bat. First pitch from Johnson, high, but in for a strike. It's an 0-1 count. Chandler Taylor, a little defensive struggles today. Has 1 error. Couldn't make the catch on a little ground ball to him. Tried to backhand it, wasn't able to get it. And second pitch is low and outside for ball number 1.
Just missed getting the strike call at the knees there on the big curveball. So far, a bunch of off-speed stuff from Johnson. Kind of different than what Miller had been throwing out, although he too would drop in some breaking balls here and there.
1-1 pitch. A swing and a miss from Chandler Taylor, so it's a 1-2 count.
And they just ran a fastball up on him there. That's the thing, when you throw a breaking ball, even when it's not for a strike, Chandler Taylor, he missed with that breaking ball at the knees. Taylor still just saw a breaking ball. Now you run a fastball up. Very prone to swinging at that sort of pitch.
Johnson with the 1-2 pitch. Low and outside for ball number 2. It's an even count. Chandler Taylor digs in, getting all set for the 2-2 pitch, which is on its way, and that is hit right to the second bin. Williams, who fields it over to Spencer Brickhouse, who catches Nick Dunn, who was just way too far off of first base. So that's a double play there. And that ends the inning. Nick Johnson comes in and retires the 3 batters he faces to keep it 2-1. The Whitecaps on top of the Braves. After 2.5 innings, you're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan.
The top of the lineup due up for the Braves. First pitch to Grant Williams is hit for a blooper right up the middle, literally right up the middle. Got past Nick Dunn and AJ Graffinito in that little seam. Just dips past second base. That's a single to start out the bottom of the third inning for leadoff hitter Grant Williams.
Shortstop number 8 from East Carolina University, Turner Brown.
Turner Brown now digs in for the Braves. Nobody out here. First pitch shows bunt, but that's a strike to Turner Brown. Runner on first now. Grant Williams, the leadoff hitter, on first. Connor Higgins will check up on him. He'll have to dive back face first, but he'll be safe. An 0-1 count to Turner Brown. Higgins checks up again, and that pass will go way over Chandler Taylor's head. Taylor having to run back all the way to the fence behind him, and that moves Grant Williams all the way to third off of just a hit or a throw that was too high from Connor Higgins over to Chandler Taylor. So now a runner in scoring position, nobody out for the Braves. Start off the bottom of the third.
And we're in the third inning, and we've already seen 2 Whitecaps errors now.
Second pitch to Turner Brown is in for a ball, so it's a 1-1 count.
And this forces Brewster to bring the infield in. Still up by a run.
1-1 pitch. Hit over to Nick Dunn, who can't make the diving catch, and here comes Grant Williams to score, so an RBI single for Turner Brown. And that's gonna make it a 2-2. We're all knotted up here in Bourne, Massachusetts.
And that's another unearned run for Connor Higgins.
Number 39,
2 errors there over at first base today. There's nobody out. And a runner on first now, Turner Brown takes first base after knocking in Grant Williams. First pitch to Scott Schreiber from Higgins is in for ball number 1. It's a 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, fouled high into the netting behind him. So it's a 1-1 count now. Scott Schreiber, the right fielder for the Braves.
Kind of a weird sort of unearned run to surrender because it's unearned, but because the pitcher made a mistake. So kind of not being charged to Higgins' ERA, but did allow that run to score.
Second pitch, high in for ball number 2. Higgins just overthrew to Chandler Taylor for that error, allowing Grant Williams to score, and it's a 2-2 game. Schreiber hit one hard to center field. Hunter Bishop looking up, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. Turner Brown sprinting back to first base. So still a runner on first, 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning.
Really gave that a ride, but Hunter Bishop is a very experienced defensive center fielder. Just able to get underneath that one. It's notable, though, the outfield wall here in Bourne is not very tall. It gets up maybe to waist high to a lot of these tall outfielders. Kind of different from some other ballparks we've seen so far early on in this season.
Lao Lin digs in for the Braves. He'll hit the first one out to right field. Marty Costas sprinting in, makes the catch for out number 2. Throw it to first to Chandler Taylor, who hits it off his foot, falls behind him to the netting, and Turner Brown moves to second. Chandler Taylor having a rough day. The throw from Costas just kind of, he dropped it and it hit off his foot and went straight behind him, and Turner Brown now in scoring position for the Braves.
That's tough because that's a nice heads-up play by the right fielder Costas to try and get a double play. Straying a little bit far from the bag was Turner Brown.
So we've already seen 2 errors in this bottom of the third inning from the Whitecaps.
Yeah, no official scoring yet, but you have to think that's how it's going to be scored.
Richie Pelosios in the batting box for Bourne. Runner on second for him. 2 outs. We're all knotted up at 2. Second pitch fouled off for strike number 1. It's a 1-1 count. Higgins takes some time to tie his shoes. Got to get those all set up. 2 outs. It's a 1-1 count to Richie Pelosios. The right fielder today for Bourne. He struck out in his first at-bat. The only strikeout, first strikeout of Connor Higgins' game. And that hit is fielded well by Nick Dunn. Passed over to Chandler Taylor for out number 3, but a run surrendered here by the Whitecaps to make it a 2-2 game here in the bottom of the third. We're through 3 innings, and we're all knotted up at 2. Come back for the 4th inning. You're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan. Welcome back to Jordan Park. Let's send it to the third member of our crew, Aiden Doyle, with an update. Aiden?
Thanks, Carter.
And we'll see if we can get Aiden on in just a bit here, as Aiden's mic ain't responding here. Sure, it's of vital importance. And we'll see if we can get him here in the top of the fourth of a 2-1 game, or 2-2, excuse me, as the first pitch is in for a strike to Curry, who will lead things in the fourth. 7, 8, and the Whitecaps, Curry, Bishop, and Hill due up here in this of the fourth inning, and the pitch is swung and laced up the middle for a base hit into center field. Michael Curry is on base for the second time today. He's got a pair of singles on his box score, and their leadoff man is on for Brewster.
Number 24 from Arizona State University, Hunter Bishop.
Now it's Hunter Bishop's turn. Bishop struck out swinging his first time up. Digging in from the left side against the right-hander Nick Johnson. Out of Rhode Island, the rising senior from Worcester, Massachusetts. It's Curry on first with nobody out here in the top of the fourth inning. And the pitch is a fastball taken in there for a strike at belt high. That makes the count 0-1 on Hunter Bishop. Both runs that the Braves have pushed across in this game have been unearned. And that has not been something that is new for Whitecaps pitching. The pitch to Bishop is swung on and grounded softly foul right side to make the count 0-2. Brewster has given up more unearned runs than almost anybody in the league. Only the Chatham Anglers have given up more unearned runs so far this season, and they just give up a lot of runs as a team. Their pitching staff has really been struggling. Coming into this game, 1 out of every 3 runs that a Brewster pitcher gave up was unearned. 0-2 pitch to Bishop is swung on and missed. Fast for him, and Bishop will head back to the dugout with his second strikeout of the day. There's one gone.
And it just seems like errors has been the big looming issue for the Whitecaps. We just saw one from Chandler Taylor, actually 2 in that inning. A miscue there from Connor Higgins to the pitcher. So just the entire defense just really struggling here for the Whitecaps. And as Jamie Shevchuk would say, his key phrase, shooting themselves in the foot.
The pitch is in there for a strike to the lefty hitting Devin Foyle. That one a fastball at Venise from Nick Johnson. Judson's done a good job changing speed since entering the game in relief of Ian Miller. And he will check the runner at first base here with the count 0-1. Miller's line on the day, he pitched 2 innings, though he did face a couple of hitters in the third. Just the 1 hit allowed, 1 K, but 6 walks, gave up a pair of runs. The pitch just missed outside, in the eyes of home plate umpire Joe Caraco. And Foyle now with a 1-1 count. He grounded out to the right side his first time up. Our umpire and crew for this game, it's Joe Caraco behind the plate, Rick Antonio at first, Mickey Garcia at third, the 1-1. Breaking ball misses inside to make the count 2 balls and 1 strike on Devin Foyle. Holding the set now is Nick Johnson. And here comes the pitch. That's in there for a strike at Venise on the fastball. Another well-located heater from Nick Johnson, and that evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brewster coming into this game at 6-4-1. Won both games of a doubleheader yesterday at Stony Brook Field between these same 2 teams. Here comes the 2-2. It's up and away, and that runs the count full to Devin Foyle. Another fastball missing there. Bourne atop the West standings coming into this game at 6-4. Foyle digging in. And here comes the 3-2 pitch. It's swung and fouled away toward the left side up against the netting. We're tied at 2 here in the top of the 4th. I really like how the netting here at Doran Park extends pretty much all across where the fans will be sitting, the bleacher areas. I think it's something that's long overdue when you go to the big league ballparks to protect the fans. As glaring at the runner on first base, Curry, is the pitcher Johnson, and now he'll reset. 3 balls and 2 strikes the count on Foyle. And the pitch is up high to the Whitecaps left fielder, and so he will work a walk. First walk of the game surrendered by Johnson since he entered. And quickly now there are 2 on and 1 out for the Whitecaps.
Washington, AJ Graffinino.
Now it's time for the top of the Brewster Whitecaps order. Speaking of unearned runs, here's AJ Graffinino, who gave up a couple of unearned runs in yesterday's doubleheader. That was during the first game, allowed the Bourne Braves to tie the score in the 7th inning at 4. But Marty Costas wound up ending the game with a walk-off homer. The pitch to the lefty is up high and tight on a fastball, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes. Curry at second base is a catcher by trade, and he runs like one. A small lead over there at second. Worth noting, obviously, if we see a base hit into the gap off the bat of Graffinino, it will take some effort to get Curry in from second. Foyle on first base has much more speed. The speed of a center fielder out in left field for tonight's ball game. 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball grounded to the right side and through into right field for a base hit. Curry's going to be waved home by Smythe at third base. Here comes the throw down, and it is cut off. Curry makes it in safely. A nice performance there from Curry, and it's an RBI single from A.J. Graffinino. He moves to second on the throw, so it's second and third for Brewster, and they have a 3-2 lead.
No inning.
Well, that's A.J. Graffinino that we know. He did have 2 pop flies to start off this game, but known for really driving guys in, usually getting hits. We've seen him get so many, 13 to be exact, in his career as a Whitecap.
Graffinino now with 4 runs driven in on the season with that RBI single, and the Whitecaps have taken the lead back. A bit of a back-and-forth affair as the righty hitter Datras digs in. The pitch to him is a breaking ball dropped in for strike number 1. 3-2 Whitecaps. We're in the top of inning number 4 here at Doran Park. The last of 3 between these 2 squads, and the only game on the Cape tonight, which means our scouts section is more full than typical. Here comes the 0-1. It bounces in the dirt to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike on Datras. This is the 3rd time that Datras has dug in tonight. He walked and scored in the first. grounded out to shortstop in the second inning. So 0 for 1 with a walk is the third baseman out of North Carolina. Second and third for Brewster with one out. Shaking off a couple of signs is the pitcher Nick Johnson. Now he holds the set. The pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball up. That fooled Kyle Daughtris, and he winced after, knowing he shouldn't have chased the pitch like that. The count is 1-2. Seen a couple of high fastballs do some damage against Whitecaps earlier in this game. Saw Marty Costas swinging a breaking ball as well. 1-2 now the count, the pitch. Swinging a foul back to the screen just behind, just over by us. And that will keep the count at 1-2 on Kyle Daughtris. 1-2 the count, second and third. As Daughtris gives home plate a couple of taps with his baseball bat. The sun is still out. The hitter's still in sunlight, as well as the pitcher. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He got him. That one tailing down, and Daughtris a bit frustrated, smacking the fat end of his bat with his hand and removing his helmet as he heads down to the dugout. Swings and misses at a couple of pitches there. That's strikeout number 3 for Johnson. And here comes Gasper with 2 gone. Mickey Gasper doing his customary clearing out of the dirt in the batter's box. Gasper, a switch hitter, batting from the left side against the righty Nick Johnson. What else is new? He's reached base twice today. The first pitch is in there for a strike at the knees. Both times were walks. Mickey Gasper really has been on fire for Brewster. Had a great doubleheader. In those 2 games combined, he managed to reach base 4 times in 7 plate appearances. The pitch is fouled away to make the count 0-2 quickly now on Gasper. Talked before about how it just seems like, one thing that Coach Jamie Shevchik really likes about Gasper is just the way he approaches at-bats. Rarely do you find him in counts like this with the count 0-2. It's 3-2 Brewster. We're in the top of the 4th. Second and third, 2 men out. And here comes the pitch. Swung and fouled away toward the left side. Gasper just staying alive. Still 0-2 on the catcher out of Bryant. Gasper bat behind the plate for this game. Spent the doubleheader. Started the first game of the doubleheader yesterday behind the plate. Then Coons came in to finish that game and then started the second game at catcher while Gasper moved to first. 0-2 pitch is bounced in front of the plate. Nice block behind the plate from Lyle Lynn. And we'll do it again. 1-2 the count now on Mickey Gasper. Staring in again is Johnson. Big spot here for Brewster trying to tack on another run. Already 1 run into this 4th inning. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and high foul ball behind the plate. That one's going to land right on the roof of the press box, it looks like. 1-2 is the count on Gasper still.
Balls, and you get a coupon for a free Sunday at Friendly's.
Gasper hailing from Merrimack, New Hampshire. Coming into this game, hitting .406. One of just 2 Whitecaps to play every game so far this year. 1-2 pitch is hit high in the air into center field. Moving to his right, it was the center fielder Hanna. He's underneath it, and he makes the catch. And that retires the side in the top of the 4th inning. But Brewster does get a run. They do it on 2 hits, and they leave 2 runners on base. We are through 3.5 innings of play. Brewster 3, Bourne 2. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan. Back in Bourne, the score, Whitecaps 3 and Braves 2. Kevin Radzewicz due up against Connor Higgins, and he grounds a foul ball right off of his side to start his at-bat off. For the DH tonight for the Bourne Braves, a catcher by trade, he and Lyle Lynn will split up the catching duties for Bourne. Just like Brewster, this is a team that often has a couple of different guys behind the plate. The 0-1 pitch is cut on and missed to make the count 0-2 on Radzewicz. Radzewicz's day, he has a walk and a run scored. It's scored on an error by the first baseman Chandler Taylor. A ball that just ate him up, and the pitch from Higgins just misses. Count 1-2 despite the frame from Gasper. This is the first time that Gasper has been behind the plate while Higgins has been on the mound as the lefty's ready. 1-2 pitch is it high in the air, foul, ground behind us. And the count remains 1-2. Justin Coons was the starting catcher for Brewster for the first couple outings that Connor Higgins have had. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball just misses inside to make the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Higgins, as is customary, just gets the baseball, shakes it off, and is ready to go again. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. It's up high to make the count 3-2. So nice job here by Radzewicz to work the count full after falling behind in the count early. Radzewicz was just 2 walks on the season coming into this game. Now 3, and there's 4. It's up high. So Radzewicz with a pair of walks, doubling his season total here in this game. And there's a leadoff runner on here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Well, that's 3 walks for Connor Higgins. Something we're not used to seeing from him. Again, he typically strikes guys out. He's got 10. And so this is an uncharacteristic game. Can't find the zone today.
The first pitch misses for ball 1 to Spencer Brickhouse. Just 2 strikeouts for Connor Higgins today. Both came in that 2nd inning. The 2 runs that he has surrendered have both been unearned. We've seen 3 Whitecaps errors today, 2 on the first baseman Taylor. The 1-0 pitch is fouled away toward the left side up by the lights out there. Makes the count 1-1 on Brickhouse, who reached on an infield single in the 2nd inning, his first time up. The first baseman here for the Bourne Braves. And the pitch to him is hit well out to center field. That one's going to dunk in there for a base hit in front of Hunter Bishop. So the first 2 runners are aboard here for the Bourne Braves as Brickhouse has his 2nd single of the game. 2 on and no one out. And now it's Jared Triolo's turn. The infielder out of Houston, he was the one who reached on that first Chandler Taylor error. A hard ground ball to the Brewster first baseman tonight. And that is his line so far on the day. Triolo digging in from the right side against the lefty Connor Higgins. It's 3-2 Whitecaps. The pitch is Joe's bunt, takes his pitch well inside. Had to pull that one back to kind of preserve his spot in the box there. Nearly hit him. 1-0 now the count. Triolo, a rising sophomore. He was born in New Hampshire, but calls Austin, Texas home. Went to Lake Travis High School. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Shows bunt again, and this one's bunted to the third baseman, Dotris, on one hop. He thinks about going to second, but throws across the first base for the out. The sacrifice works for Jared Triolo, and it's now 2nd and 3rd with 1 out for the Braves here in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, probably a good decision there from Kyle Dotris. We've seen a couple of infield miscues today, so just make the easy play there rather than try to force something that might not be there. Just get the out, the one they're giving to you.
2nd and 3rd, pitch to Jamison Hanna is taken for a strike at the knees. Coming frame behind the plate from Gasper, just got to the knees in the eyes of home plate ump Joe Caraco. Hanna, a rising junior from Flower Mound, Texas. It's a ground ball through the middle. It's going to trickle into center field for a base hit. One run will score. Heading around 3rd is Brickhouse. He's coming home. The throw is not going to be in time. It's a 2-run single up the middle for Jamison Hanna. And just like that, the Braves turn a 3-2 deficit into a 4-3 lead here in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, we've seen this a couple of times for the Whitecaps. They get out to an early lead and they seem to just let the other team chip away slowly. And then they have to play from behind, which is something they're very used to this year.
That is the first pair of RBIs for the season for Jamison Hanna. So he now has 2 on the year, and we're back to the top of the order for Bourne, starting with Williams, who bunts it down the third base side. It's fielded by Daughtris, barehanded, throws across his body to first base in time for the out. A terrific play by the Brewster third baseman Kyle Daughtris, able to nab him at first base for out number 2.
And also a good stretch there from Chandler Taylor. Not a traditional first baseman, so not something he's used to doing in the outfield. You don't really got to stretch for something like that, but that was a good play by him. Kind of a low throw, but still a good one from Daughtris, but he did have to kind of reach out there. Nice catch there and a nice play from teammate to teammate.
Hanna moves over to second on the play. And the pitch to the righty, Turner Brown, is taken for a strike, a breaking ball there from Connor Higgins. Higgins has maybe not shown the sparkle that we saw in his first couple of starts, but still working out there. 0-1 pitch is a breaking ball in there for a strike at the knees. Of course, he was a reliever at Arizona State. And for a guy who's used to coming in for just an inning or two in his college season in the spring, it's been impressive to see how composed he is on the mound in terms of long outings. 0-2 pitch just missed off the outside corner to make the count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Turner Brown.
Well, he says it's just like being a closer. You just got to, except for you have to focus just 1 day a week as opposed to every day a week. So he actually likes being a starter a little bit better.
1-2 pitch is left up high to make the count 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second. 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Braves lead 4-3. Here at Doran Park. And here comes the pitch. It's swung on and missed on a breaking ball that was up. Kind of a strange little swing there from Turner Brown. He goes down swinging. That's strikeout number 3 for Connor Higgins, and it retires the side. 2 runs for the Bourne Braves in this 4th inning on a couple of hits. They leave 1 runner on. We're through 4 innings complete now, and it's 4-3 Bourne. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Welcome back to Bourne. Carter Badil, Morris Sheridan here with you. Let's send it over to Aiden Doyle for an update. Aiden?
Thanks, Carter. Before the game, I talked to Coach Shevchik, and he just said 3. We need arms. Well, good news for the Whitecaps. Louisville reliever Sam Bordner is on his way. He'll be arriving late Thursday night and should be available for Brewster Friday. Now back to you.
Thank you. That's big news for Brewster. Sam Bordner, a terrific reliever for the Louisville Cardinals. Pitch is low to the lefty hitting Nick Dunn, who leads things off for Brewster here in the top of the 5th. The score, Braves 4, Whitecaps 3. Dunn has a pair of walks to his name so far today. And the 2-0 is a fastball in there for a strike. That one right down Broadway. Nick Johnson still on the mound. The righty out of Rhode Island. On the mound for Bourne, and he's ready to go, dealing 2-1. The pitch. Swan hit hard out to center field, moving to his left at the center fielder, Hanna. He's heading over to the wall, and he makes the catch on the run. That was a hard-hit baseball from Nick Dunn, but it's pulled down for out number 1.
Seen a couple of hard-hit pop-ups today. Marty Costas had one in his sac fly. That one took him way back to the fencing, and that one just a couple of feet from going out, but the wind kind of shifting it over to the right.
So here comes Marty Costas. The hero yesterday had a sacrifice fly in the first inning to drive in Brewster's first run, and then struck out in the third inning as he takes a strike to begin his at-bat. Not the biggest fan of the call based on his facial expression there from the call from Joe Caraco behind the plate. Right-handed hitter is Costas. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball dropped in there for strike number 2 at the knees. So a couple of pitches into the knees. Saw a heater first and then a breaking ball from Nick Johnson, who has given up just the 1 run since he entered the game in the third inning. 0-2 pitch is up high. Makes the count 1-2. On Marty Costas, the righty out of Baltimore, Maryland. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's a fastball, and that one nearly hit him, ran in on the inside corner. That one whacked off the catcher's mitt of Lyle Lynn into the backstop. Makes the count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Costas, who helps out a Bourne bat boy by flipping the ball over underhanded. So 2-2. It's Marty digging in. Johnson looking for his 4th strikeout. Here's the pitch. It bounces in the dirt for ball 3. A breaking ball that missed badly. And the count now full on Marty Costas. Johnson pitched for his hometown team in the NECBL, shall we say, the Ocean State Waves this past in Rhode Island. The pitch is low, and Marty Costas reaches via a walk. So one of the few Whitecaps hitters that hasn't drawn a walk today now can say he did, and Costas is aboard. That is the second walk surrender by Johnson since he entered the game. He relieved Miller, who gave up 6 of them against just 1 hit and 1 strikeout. And here comes Chandler Taylor. The lefty hitter is playing first base for Brewster. Has had not the best day defensively. The pitch is a fastball taken for a strike. At the plate, Taylor has reached base once. He walked his first time up, and then a strange little broken bat double play to the right side. A little looper caught by the second baseman Williams, flipped to first base to double off the runner. 0-1 pitch is up high. Fastball up at eye level there over the plate. Makes the count 1 ball and 1 strike on the home run hitter out of Alabama. Taylor with 3 home runs coming into this ball game. Waiting on a 1-1 pitch now from the righty. The pitch that is in there for a strike on the inside corner on a fastball. Looked like Johnson missed the target there. Lyle Lim was setting up away, had to move his mitt over to grab it on the inside part of the plate, but still in the zone in the eyes of home plate ump Joe Caraco. Costas leading off of first base with the count 1-2. The pitch is swung and fouled away toward the left side, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes on Taylor. Brewster trailing Bourne 4-3. Brewster had taken the lead, in the top of the 4th inning on an RBI single from the leadoff hitter A.J. Graffinino, but Bourne responded with a 2-run single of their own from Jamison Hanna, the center fielder, to flip things around. And so Brewster, who again scored first in this game, they jumped out to a 2-0 lead, are playing from behind. 4-3 the score. Runner on first base, 1 out. Waiting on the 1-2 pitch. Here it comes. And it just misses inside. That one looked like it hit the spot for Lyle Lynn. Maybe framed it just a little bit, but that was it. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count on Taylor. And here comes the pitch from Johnson. It's hit hard out to right field. Moving back is the right fielder Schreiber. He's moving to his right now. It looks like he's under it, and he makes the catch on the run. He was calling off the center fielder Hanna from the get-go there. He saw that baseball, and he made the catch on the run, moving to his right out to right center field. So that's the second out. A couple of hard-hit balls out to right field, accounting for the 2 outs in this top of the 5th inning for Brewster. And now it's Michael Curry's turn.
It looks like the lights are coming on. You can see the shadows kind of hitting out to left field, but still completely sunny in right field.
And the pitch to the righty Curry is taken just a bit outside for ball number 1. 1-0 the count on the DH out of Georgia. Curry's day's got a pair of singles. Had an infield single that scored the Whitecaps' 2nd run in the 1st, and then wound up scoring Brewster's 3rd run in the 4th inning after reaching via a single. 1-0 pitch, bounces in the dirt. Count is 1-1. Casas was bluffing over there at second base, or rather, bluffing to go to second. He's standing on first. Made Lyle Lynn think twice for a second after making that play in the dirt. And now the count is 2-0. Holding the set is Johnson. The 2-0 pitch is swung hit high in the air into foul territory on the right side. The first baseman, Brickhouse, had to dodge the umpire, and the second baseman, Williams, winds up making the catch. Brickhouse went all the way down to foul territory, but it looks like the wind pulled that one back into fair ground, and the second baseman, Williams, in the first baseman's spot, makes the catch, and that retires the side. We're through 4.5. Brewster does get 1 runner on via the walk, but that's it in this inning. No runs, no hits, 1 left in the 5th for the Whitecaps. We're finished with 4.5 innings of play. It's 4-3 Braves. You're listening to Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan. Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take just a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu. The first pitch is fouled away by the right-handed hitter Scott Schreiber to begin his at-bat. Up against Connor Higgins, who returns for his 5th inning of work. The Whitecaps trailing Bourne 4-3 here at Doran Park. And here comes the 0-1 to the righty. It's up high to make the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Schreiber has not seen very many pitches in this game. He jumped on the first couple of pitches in both of his first 2 at-bats. Hit a hard ground ball to third in the first. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That's inside to make the count 2-1. And in the 3rd inning, in Schreiber's 2nd appearance, hit a high fly ball out to center field that was collected by Hunter Bishop. Working quickly as always is Higgins. 2-1 pitch, hard ground ball to third base. Diving is Dautris, but it's behind him and into center field for a base hit. So a leadoff hitter for Schreiber, as he has been taking an aggressive approach at the plate, and he reaches on a single.
It'll be interesting to see what Shevchik decides here with Connor Higgins. He's made it to 5 innings in each of his appearances. That's the goal, Shevchik says, for all his starters. But they are down 1, so it'll be interesting to see how long Higgins lasts out there.
The pitch to the righty, Lyle Lynn, is into center field for a base hit. Just got underneath that one, and it drops in front of Hunter Bishop. So a couple of quick singles to start off the 5th inning for the Braves. It's 2 on and nobody out as Lyle Lynn reaches for the first time in this game. He's now 1-for-3. And here comes Richie Palacios, who is out in left field for the Braves and digging in from the left side. There is some action in the Whitecaps bullpen right now, as it looks like pitching coach Austin Straub is going to go and talk to Higgins as the infield will come in and converge. Higgins so far, his command has not been where he would have liked it, and dare I say where it was in his first couple of starts. Ryan Avedano, the lefty out of Georgia, is warming in the pen for Brewster as we speak. out there beyond the right field fence in Bourne. This is one of the ballparks that has the bullpens behind the fence, and so there's a chance, Maura, that Higgins maybe doesn't meet that goal that you were talking about.
Yeah, it's also important to note that Higgins wasn't expecting to start this game because Lingenfelter got hurt. He had less days rest in between starts, and as we mentioned before, he's usually a reliever, so not used to starting and not really needed that rest. I talked to him earlier, and he said he was excited to start today, but a little nervous about not having a lot of rest.
There's action in the other pen, too. It looks like that's Eli Kraus out there, if my eyes don't deceive me. No, I don't think that is who it is. It's bunted in front of the pitcher, Higgins, off the bat of Hanna. It's a good bunt. He'll throw it over to first base just in time to nab Palacios. Second and third now for the Braves, with now one out. That's the second sacrifice bunt that we've seen from the Bourne Braves in this game. And in the same situation, they both had 2 on and nobody out, and now it's second and third. You score that 1-3. Brewster now brings the infield in. And the first pitch is hit hard down the line, but foul down the right side off the bat of Radzewicz, who has 2 walks and 2 runs. His name in this game. All against the Whitecap starter, Connor Smith. It's Schreiber on third base and Lynn on second, who's taking a pretty aggressive lead out there, and the pitch is fouled away. That one off looked like the knee of Radzewicz, and he'll walk around the circle to try and walk it off. That one bounded maybe halfway to the pitcher's mound after hitting off of Radzewicz, and it makes the count 0-2. Radzewicz, a rising senior out of Cromwell, Connecticut, out of Fairfield University. 0-2 pitch on the way from Higgins. Here it comes, and it just misses outside. That one was close. But despite the attempted frame from Mickey Gasper, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes now on the Bourne Braves designated hitter. It's 4-3 Bourne in the bottom of the 5th. 1-2 pitch misses outside. The Braves looking to tack on a couple more runs. A bit of a back and forth game. Whitecaps got 2 in the first inning. Then a couple of unearned runs came in for Bourne in the second and third innings. Brewster tied the score, or took the lead in the 4th, and then the Braves took it right back in the bottom half. The pitch is hit on the ground softly to shortstop, fielded by Graffinino. He throws home, and in a rundown in between third base and home is Schreiber. Gasper's going to throw over down to the third baseman, Daughtris, and now Daughtris can't get the tag on him, and he goes home. Did he tag him? There's been no signal. Daughtris assumed he tagged him, and now there is a signal from our home plate umpire that he made the tag. A very late signal from Joe Caraco. The Bourne Braves players in the dugout were confused, but it looked like it was a clear tag there from Daughtris as he was running down. Getting to first base safely is the hitter Radzewicz, and advancing to third on the play is Lyle Lynn. And now Harvey Shapiro is out, and he wants an explanation.
Well, that was a very late call, but Kyle Daughtris did stop running completely, so you would assume he tagged him, because why else would he do that? But it was a very, very late call from the home ump here, but Shapiro looks like he's having some words, but doubt they're going to reverse the call. No instant replay in the CCBO.
Lynn was almost to third base when that play was happening. Got caught in the rundown, and kind of a strange situation to see the runner Schreiber retreat. Daughtris wound up with the baseball, and Schreiber was almost ready to slide into third base. He stopped once he realized that Lynn was there and turned back around for home, and Daughtris, it was basically a foot race. Looked like he was managed to catch up to him. If he wasn't able to do that, the catcher Gasper was following his throw, so he was over there by third base, and it was the pitcher Higgins who was covering home plate. That would have been quite strange, and now it looks like the 3 umpires, our umpiring crew, Joe Caraco, Rick Antonio, and Mickey Garcia, are going to get together and talk about this. At the moment, it looks like, as it stands, is an out via the tag from Daughtris to retire Schreiber. Lynn is still standing with the foot on third base, smiling and talking with Daughtris himself over there. Not sure what else is here. Maybe they possibly both touched third base. Lynn was over there in that territory with Schreiber, so perhaps we'll have to see from our vantage point with Daughtris chasing him down. I mean, Daughtris was in between him and the bag, and it looks like they're going to stick with the play as called. Home plate umpire Joe Caraco signals for the out.
Now batting, the
So Schreiber is retired on the fielder's choice. Lynn moves to third, and Radziwic advances for the third time today. He reaches base on a fielder's choice. So the situation now, first and third. It's Lynn on third, Radziwic on first base, and we will see, it looks like a new, well, Jamie Shevchik is out there, and Connor Higgins is offering him the ball, and we are going to see a new Whitecaps pitcher. So we're going to take a quick break, try to sort all this out, and we'll come back on the other side of it. It's 4-3 Bourne. We know that. You're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan. It will be Ryan Avadano to relieve Connor Higgins after Higgins goes 4 2/3 here at Doran Park. The Braves are ahead of the Whitecaps 4-3. We're in the bottom of the fifth inning, and they are knocking at the door to get another run across. It's first and third for Bourne here with now 2 men out after a strange fielder's choice. Schreiber was caught in a rundown between third base and home plate, and so he is retired. And now due up is Spencer Brickhouse, the first baseman, who has a couple of singles and a run scored on this game. Brickhouse, a lefty hitter against the lefty Avadano. The numbers on Ryan so far on McCabe, he's got an 8.10 ERA. This is appearance number 3. One of his previous appearances was a start. The other was out of a bullpen. 3 1/3 innings pitch on the year. 6 hits allowed. 2 walks, 3 Ks. Has hit 2 batters as well. Lefty to lefty. Here's the pitch. It's up high. That one nearly hit the lefty hitter Brickhouse. So you have to dive back a bit. That's quite a way to start off your at-bat, to see some chin music up there. 1-0 the count. Shadows now covering most of the infield here at Doran Park. As lefty Avadano holds the set and deals 1-0. It's hard hit to left center field, and it's going to drop in there for a base hit. Jogging home and scoring is Lyle Lynn. It's an RBI single for Spencer Brickhouse. He does the job. He's now 3 for 3 on the day, and it's 5-3 Bourne.
Well, that one was roped out to left center there, and that's just a tough start for Ryan Avadano, who's really been struggling in the Cape League so far this season. He is a temporary player, trying to make a name for himself.
Second RBI of the year for Spencer Brickhouse. The run is charged to Connor Higgins. It's the first earned run he's given up in this game. And the pitch is up high. Or rather, 2 of the 5 are unearned so far for the Bourne Braves. We've seen 3 Brewster errors in this game. There's a runner on first base with 2 outs. The righty Jared Triolo takes the pitch down to make the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Triolo reached on an error from Chandler Taylor in the second, and then laid down a sacrifice bunt in the fourth. Anna came up. The next hitter allowed a couple of runs to score with the single. The 2-0 pitch. It's hit hard out to center field. Bishop is moving back and to his right, and he makes the catch sliding on one knee on the run to retire beside. Nice piece of defense there from Hunter Bishop out there in center field, and that finishes things here in the bottom of the 5th inning. For Bourne, they get 1 run on 3 hits, and they leave 2 on base. We are through 5 innings of play, 5-3 Braves. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan. We welcome you back to Doran Park, and we have a new pitcher to tell you about. It is the righty out of Missouri State, Dylan Coleman. He's making his first appearance on the Cape this season. Coleman out of the Missouri State Bears squad, hailing in Springfield, Missouri. Hunter Bishop will lead things off for Brewster. And the first pitch to Bishop is just a bit outside, so the count is 1-0 on the Whitecaps center fielder. We're in the top of the 6th inning, 5-3 the score, Bourne ahead. Pitch to the lefty is hit hard out to center field. That one's going to drop into a base hit, heading into the gap in right center. Bishop takes a wide turn at first base, and it's bobbled out there by Hanna in center field, and Bishop will move to second. He was thinking about 2 anyway, and then after that scooted off of the glove of Hanna out there in center field. That was it for Bishop, so he reaches via a single at least, and we'll see how they score that out in center field, and they are going to score it. Well, the scoreboard gave a Whitecaps an error. I would think that means they're going to charge an error to the center fielder Hanna on the play. So runner on second either way with nobody out. And now it's Devin Foyle's turn. Foyle hitting from the left side. Coleman. And the pitch is up high at eye level. Misses with the fastball. So dropping behind him, a count 1-0 to both of his first couple. Coleman. 1-0 the count now on Devin Foyle. Runner on second base is Bishop. Here comes the pitch. It is just a bit outside, so it's 2-0 now on Foyle. Bishop has a couple of strikeouts to his name, so able to get on base for the first time. Foyle has 1 walk and a ground ball on his ledger for this game. 1-0 is the count. Here's the pitch from the right-hander. Misses outside. And that, I would believe, makes it 3-0. As they're still figuring things out here on the scoreboard here at Doran Park. It's turned into a gorgeous night here. Lights are on, but the sun's still providing some natural lighting. Though maybe not to the infield, maybe more to the outfield. 3-0 pitch. In there for a strike. Just grooved that one in there. Looked like Foyle was taking. Bishop is on second. They did score about an error. An E8 on Hannah out there in center field. So give him a single and an error for Bishop. And he takes a pretty aggressive lead out there at second base. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Fouled away, back to the screen. And the count is 3 balls and 2 strikes on Devin Foyle. The Missouri State Bears team for Coleman wound up making the NCAA regionals this past season. They're second in 3 years, if my memory serves me correctly. Waiting on a 3-2. Here it comes. And it's in there, called strike 3, outside corner. An emphatic strike called by Joe Caraco behind the plate. And Devin Foyle is down on strikes looking. There is 1 gone here in the 6th.
Now batting the shortstop number 6 from University of
Well,
Washington.
Foyle jogged up
AJ
like he was going
Graffino.
to first. He was ready to take that base right there and then realized it was a strikeout. Little grimace from Foyle as he walks back to the dugout.
So we're back to the top of the Whitecaps order. Starting with the lefty shortstop, A.J. Graffinino. Here comes the pitch. In there for a strike on a fastball. And the count is 0-1 on A.J. Graffinino has an RBI today. It was a single in the 4th inning. Had a couple of fly balls before then, so he's now 3 on the day. Bishop leading off of second. It's 5-3 Braves. We're in the top of inning number 6. The pitch is a breaking ball lifted out to left field down the line. It will tail foul and head over by the concourse behind the snack stand. Makes the count 0-2 on Graffinino. After this, Brewster has to go to Falmouth. That game's starting at 6 o'clock. You'll be able to listen to that right here where you are. And then they're back home for 2 games versus Chatham, back-to-back at Stony Brook Field. One of them is a makeup. 0-2 on the way to Graffinino. And Coleman deals. Swing and a miss. He got him. That was a fastball at the knees, and Graffinino is down on strike swinging. So back-to-back Ks for Coleman, 1 looking and 1 swinging. And there are 2 gone.
Kyle Daughters.
And now it's Kyle Daughtris' turn. Daughtris, the righty third baseman out of North Carolina, is 0 for 2, but he did walk in the 1st inning and scored a run. This game started with Ian Miller out of Harvard, the starter for the Bourne Braves. Really just couldn't find his control for much of his appearance. Walked 6 batters in his 2 innings of work, 2+ innings. Pitch to Daughtris. Breaking ball misses outside. And that makes the count 1 ball and no strikes. Miller was relieved by Nick Johnson, who pitched pretty well in the 3 innings of work that he was given. As we stand here in the 6th inning, the pitch, breaking ball misses away. So Daughtris now ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. The Whitecaps, this really is a sort of situation that they have been in before. They got the early lead with a couple of runs in the 1st inning, and they gave up a couple unearned runs. And then wound up taking the lead again in the 4th and giving it right back. The pitch is in there for a strike to make the count 2-1 on Daughtris. These 2 teams come into the game with the same win-loss record. Brewster does have a tie to their name, but both 6 wins and 4 losses for both of these teams. Despite the fact that if you look at the stats in terms of hitting and pitching, Brewster has the better numbers. 2-1 pitch. Runner's going for third, and it's lifted out toward right side into right field. Moving to his right is the right fielder Schreiber. He's under it now, and he makes the catch to retire Daughtris and end the top of the 6th inning. So Brewster gets the leadoff runner on, and that's it. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base. We're through 5.5 innings of play. It's now 5-3 Braves here. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan. Jamison Hanna leads things off against Ryan Avadano, and he bunts at the first pitch and sends it foul over the screen behind the plate. And that's how the outfielder out of Dallas Baptist University will begin his at-bat. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning now. The score is Bourne 5 and Brewster 3 here at Doran Park. 5-1 for the Braves, 3-4 and 3 for Brewster. 0-1 pitch from Avadano is looped in there for a strike. Nice little breaking ball to get in there at the knees. Avadano just kind of tucked that baseball in. Hanna has right now what stands as the game-winning hit, the go-ahead hit, if you will, as he takes a pitch that bounces well in front of the plate off of Gasper's check protector for ball number 2. Counts even 2-2. It was a 2-run single for Jamison Hanna in the 4th inning. That gave the Braves, at the time, a 4-3 lead. They scored their 5th goal from Brickhouse in the previous frame. The pitch is low. Another one in the dirt to Hanna to make the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. And 3 errors for Brewster. They now have 21 for the season, and since there's no other games going on, we can definitively say that that is the most in the Cape League. They came in tied for first place with 18. Heading into this matchup, the 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. And Hanna is down on strikes for the 2nd time today. First one was against Connor Higgins, but Avadano gets him swinging there, 1 gone.
Second baseman number 4 from Kennesaw State University, Grant Williams.
That defensive stat, really, if you look at the team stats for the Cape Cod League as Grant Williams digs in, the Whitecaps really are a statistical anomaly. They are first in OPS with 767. They're first in ERA with 301. The pitch to the lefty Williams is a breaking ball in there for a strike, as Avadano again able to locate that curve. A little kind of almost a slurvy sort of curveball in the mid-70s. 1-0 pitch, 0-1 pitch is hit in the air to left field. Underneath it and making the play is the left fielder Foyle. And there's 2 gone quickly here in the bottom of inning number 6.
Now batting the shortstop number 8 from East Carolina University, Turner Brown.
And now it's Turner Brown's turn. He too has an RBI to his name in this game. It was a single in the 3rd inning. But at the time, tied the score at 2. Brown, a right-handed hitter against the lefty Avadano. And he takes a pitch in there for a strike. Another first pitch strike from Ryan Avadano, who, as we mentioned, in just 3 1/3 innings pitched coming into this game, as the 0-1 pitch is fouled back to the screen to make the count 0-2, had walked 2 hitters and hit 2 more. So allowing 4 players to reach base via some sort of control-related free pass. But so far, I think his command has been better, though we have seen a couple of breaking balls bounced in front of Gasper behind the plate. 0-2 pitch, and there's a breaking ball bounced in front of Gasper behind the plate. Speak of the devil, 1-2 is the count. Gasper's done a good job blocking balls in this game. Part of that revolving door catcher. Gasper's always in the lineup, but sometimes at first base. 1-2 pitch. Just missed the outside corner with an off-speed pitch to make the count 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Turner Brown. That was a nice job by Brown to lay that one off. Brown's full line today, grounded into a double play in the 1st, the RBI single in the 3rd, and then a strikeout. The pitch. Check swing on a ball in the dirt. Did he go? They say he did go, says the first base umpire Rick Antonio. So it's a 1-2-3 bottom of the 6th inning work by Ryan Avadano, and the Whitecaps will head to the 7th, still trailing by 2. It's 5-3 Bourne. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadeal and Maura Sheridan.
Well, we do have a pitching change to tell you about. Chad Linsman takes the mound for the Braves. He's out of Nebraska. Quick outing for Dylan Coleman. Linsman replacing him, and Mickey Gasper will dig in to take an at-bat for the Brewster Whitecaps. First pitch from Linsman, swung on and fouled. Right straight behind to the backstop for Mickey Gasper. It's an 0-1 count. Gasper's walked twice today and popped up in his third at-bat, the most recent one. Second pitch from Linsman is in for a ball, so it's a 1-1 even count to Mickey Gasper. 1-1 pitch is in for a strike, swung on and missed by Mickey Gasper. He's behind in the count, 1-2.
This is the third appearance on McCabe for Linsman this year. 3 innings pitched to his name, just 2 Ks, no walks or runs allowed.
Fourth pitch in for a ball, so 2-2 count. Linsman wearing number 38 out there on the mound, a Husker. With the 2-2 pitch, hit by Gasper, bloops right in to center field. And that's a base hit for Mickey Gasper to start out the 7th inning.
It was kind of strange. Looked like he got the bat to the ball, but it was just a little bit of a blooper. Rightly checking to make sure the bat isn't broken as he jogs it back into the dugout. But Gasper's going to take getting on base whenever he can get it. He's now reached base 3 times.
Now batting, the second baseman, number 39 from the University of
Nick
Maryland,
Dunn up to bat for the Whitecaps. Marty Costas on deck. Mickey Gasper on first. First pitch to Dunn, swung on and hit right to the second baseman. Gasper's out, running to second, and so is Dunn, so that's a double play turned right there by Bourne. And just like that, 2 outs for the Whitecaps.
That was a pretty double play. Scoop and flip over there from Williams to Brown at short. They doubled off Dunn with plenty of time to spare.
So Marty Costas up to bat with 2 quick outs here. Off of just 1 pitch. Nick Dunn swung at it, and in for a double play. First pitch to Costas. He'll swing at that one. That one's deep into right field, and it will drop in for a base hit for Marty Costas.
Nice piece of hitting there, just lifting that one up to right center.
Costas does have power, as we mentioned early. Sac fly got the first RBI of the game, brought in Kyle Daughtris for first run the Whitecaps scored. Walked and popped up, and now a single for Marty Costas. Whitecaps still down 5-3, top of the 7th inning. 2 outs. Chandler Taylor now up to bat. He'll hit one deep into left field, and it will be caught going out. What a catch there, oh my. A great catch from left fielder Richie Pelosis. He dove over the fence, fell, and held the ball up. He made that catch to end this inning. Chandler Taylor was about to go foul and stay alive, but he was robbed of that, so that's 3 outs for the Whitecaps. And that will do it for the top of the 7th inning. It's still 5-3 after an amazing catch. You're listening to the Whitecaps Network. And we're back. An amazing catch to end the top of the 7th inning from Richie Pelosios. I mean, we had no words for he dove over on a foul ball from Chandler Taylor in left field. And the first pitch from Whitecaps pitcher Ryan Avendano to Scott Schreiber. In for a strike, swung on and missed by Schreiber. And Schreiber will foul one off right above us, right into the top netting above the backstop. Schreiber has a single to his name today. It ground out and pop up earlier in this game. 1-2 count now to Schreiber. Avendano has a strikeout, 2 strikeouts to his name. In the frame, swung on it by Scott Schreiber, but he tipped it, so he'll have to throw it to first in order to get out. And they complete it. Mickey Gasper over to Chandler Taylor for strikeout number 3.
Yeah, it looks like that breaking ball from Avendano is working, shall we say, well enough. It's been fooling enough hitters. Sometimes he's missed it, and Gasper's done a good job with the usage of the chest protector behind the plate on breaking balls that wind up bouncing in front of it, but got a swing and a miss on it right there. And hey, 3 Ks and 4 hitters is 3 Ks and 4 hitters, no matter how you slice it.
And going into this game, and Lyle Lynn will hit one, and is the first pitch he sees over to Kyle Dottris, who whips it over to Chandler Taylor for out number 2.
Now batting, the left fielder number 1 from Towson University, Richie Palacios.
The Whitecaps on top of the Braves 5-3. If there wasn't errors in this game, Whitecaps would be winning. They've allowed 2 unearned runs today. 3 errors in this game. First pitch to Richie Pelosios, the guy responsible for that amazing catch we're raving about. Robbed Chandler Taylor of the chance to stay alive. He just hit one foul to left field, and the left fielder for the Braves dove over the fence. Basically did a handstand. Pelosios hits one right up the seam in center field. Bounces over second base, and that's good for a base hit.
Yeah, now Palacios is able to add a single to his ledger to go with that terrific catch. He's played good defense. I think he played pretty good defense during the doubleheader yesterday, if I remember correctly, for Bourne.
Made a couple of tough catches out there in the outfield last night.
Was only in there, I think, for the second game, but I think he played well. I mean, that's just what I'm remembering.
Does feel like a world away.
That's baseball.
First pitch to Kevin Radzowicz is popped fly into left field. Devin Foyle will make the catch to end the inning. So 3 up, 3 down for Ryan Avendano. And that will do it for the 7th inning. It's still 5-3. The Braves on top of the Whitecaps. You're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan.
The bottom of the order due up for the Whitecaps: Michael Curry, Hunter Bishop, Devin Foyle. All set to bat in this inning. It's the top of the 8th. Whitecaps trail the Braves 5-3. First pitch from Lindsman. Number 1. It's an 0-1 count. Curry has 2 singles to his name. His most recent at-bat, though, fly ball is caught. And the 0-1 pitch hits the dirt, so it's a 1-1 count. Curry responsible for the second Whitecaps run being driven in. Also came home himself. And pitch number 3 is in for another ball, so it's a 2-1 count to Michael Curry, the designated hitter for the Whitecaps today. Two-one pitch is low and out, so it's a 3-1 count. Michael Curry ahead. Starting to get a little chilly out here, Bourne, Massachusetts. 3-1 pitch is in for a strike right up the center. Michael looking at that, froze up a little bit. So it's a full count to the Gainesville, Georgia native. 3-2 pitch, in for a strike, got him looking. Curry not a fan of that call. He was ready to run to first for the walk, but instead he gets out looking, and that's good for out number 1.
Definitely a, sorry, Mara, for stepping on your toes there, but definitely a borderline pitch up at the letters to Curry.
First pitch to Hunter Bishop, in for another strike from Lindsman. Bishop has struck out twice today, although he did get a single and then ended up getting all the way to second off of an error from center field from Jamison Hanna. Second pitch to Curry is low and out for ball number 1. It's a 1-1 count. One pitch, swung on by Bishop, and that one will bloop right in. A little grounder that goes into center field, makes it to Jamison Hanna. Second baseman Grant Williams almost got it there. He kind of dove at it, but Hunter Bishop's on first now, the first runner for these Whitecaps.
Yeah, made Williams look a little silly there with the single there, because that was such a weird high chopper, kicked off with some English on it on the infield dirt. It was a great attempt there from Williams to try and get his glove on it, but that ball had a date with center field.
Devin Foyle swings and misses on the first pitch. So it's an 0-1 count to Devin Foyle. Runner on first, 1 out. Whitecaps need a little offensive production. They are down 2 runs to the Braves. Foyle hits one to left field. Going back is Palacios, and no problem for him. He'll throw it back. Hunter Bishop was thinking about second, but ran back as Palacios threw it all the way to Grant Williams at second base.
Thought for a minute we might see another web gem from Palacios, but he was able to get underneath that baseball. Another hard contact there from Devin Foyle.
Top of the lineup, AJ Graffinino, leadoff hitter for the Whitecaps. In the batter's box now, digs in, lefty. Hunter Bishop still on first, 2 outs. And he'll get a little checkup there. Has to dive head first, dirtying up those white pants. The Whitecaps in their teal uniforms today for the second day in a row. First pitch to Graffinino, in for a strike. Lindsman getting ready for that 0-1 pitch. And here it comes. That one's high and out for ball 1. It's a 1-1 count. The lights now on. It's pretty dark here. Still a little sun, little light so to speak. And Graffinino gets a piece of it. It will hit off of Linsman's leg, and Graffinino makes it to first. Wasn't hit very hard, but hit right into the pitcher's leg, and he's so tall. It's hard for him to get down there. So not able to make the play is Linsman, and Graffinino's on first. Bishop moves to second. So a runner in scoring position for Kyle Daughtris.
Yeah, with the 6'3" Linsman unable to corral that one. That's just one of those fluke plays. I think we saw 2 of those yesterday in the doubleheader. So I guess it's a sign that Brewster's able to get some good timing on some pitches and send it straight back to the pitcher. But hey, you'll get a hit whenever you can, right? Graffinino's second single of the day.
Kyle Daughtris up for Brewster. Takes a first strike looking. It's an 0-1 count. Linsman keeping an eye on Hunter Bishop. He's a center fielder, so he's pretty quick, and so is Graffinino. He's a shortstop, so 2 pretty speedy guys on base right now for Brewster. The 0-1 pitch. Down in the dirt for ball 1. Linsman swiveling his head. Again, wants to make sure there's no funny business out there from the Whitecaps. 1-1 pitch. Hit by Daughtris. Right to second baseman Grant Williams. He'll hit it over to Spencer Brickhouse, and that does it for the Whitecaps. They'll leave 2 on. And that will do it for the top of the 8th inning. The Whitecaps still trail the Braves 5-3. You're listening to Whitecaps Radio Network.
A 4-pack of Paw Sox.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Waddell and Maura Sheridan.
Well, we're in the bottom of the 8th inning, and what could be the last at-bat for the Bourne Braves. They lead the Whitecaps 5-3. Ryan Avendano still at the mound for Brewster. His first pitch in a Spencer Brickhouse is a strike, a swing and a miss from Brickhouse. It's an 0-1 count. Seen a lot of early strikes from Ryan Avendano. Already has 3 strikeouts to his name in this game alone. Second pitch low and outside on the left corner. Avendano entered this game with 3 strikeouts in 2 appearances, and now in just 1 he doubled that. 1-1 pitch hit high to right field. Marty Costas has to run in, but it will drop. So that's a base hit to start out this bottom of the 8th for Steven Brickhouse.
That's kind of what you do when you're not entirely ready for a breaking ball. Just kind of go for it and lift it out into right field. Kind of a slow swing on a slow pitch. Kind of like watching that in slow motion there. But gets a little bloop single. We've seen a bunch of those tonight. Little bloop hits.
Jared Triolo now in the batter's box for Bourne. There's number 15, third baseman today for the Braves. Avendano with the first pitch. In for a strike again. Another strike. Start off in at bat for Avendano. Runner on first, nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Bourne on top of Brewster 5-3. Avendano checks up on Brickhouse. Brickhouse easily walks back to first. Avendano digging in on the mound. 0-1 pitch. In for ball number 1, so it's a 1-1 even count for Avendano. Triolo is responsible for a double today. He did ground out and had a fly ball earlier in this game, but did get to second base. And he'll hit one deep into center field. Hunter Bishop looking, calling for it, gets the grab, so that's out number 1. Hunter Bishop makes the play. Still a runner on first. No movement there from Brickhouse.
Yeah, ball was hit too hard, and it's the second time tonight that Hunter Bishop hasn't had to move to make a catch. Just stood out there in straightaway center and put it away.
Jamison Hanna now up for the Bourne Braves. He does have an error to his name out in center field today. Avendano, the first pitch, in for another strike. It's an 0-1 count. Hanna struck out twice today, but he does have 2 RBIs to his name off of a single. As you mentioned, could be the go-ahead run here. Hanna fouls one out on the first base line, just chops it up there. For strike number 2, it's an 0-2 count. Just one out here in the bottom of the 8th, runner on first. Bourne up 5-3 on Brewster. 0-2 pitch, fouled out on, this time high on the left side, up by the lights here. And Jamison Hanna stays alive. It's still an 0-2 count. Avendano with 0-2 pitch, a swing and a miss from Hanna, so he'll get him on a strikeout. That's 4 from Avendano today. Coming in for relief for Connor Higgins.
This is big, I think, for Avendano. He struggled in his first couple appearances, wasn't able to go long when he was called on to start, and here has been able to really eat up some innings when Brewster's needed them. Another case of a guy coming out of the pen for Jamie Shevchik's club and putting up zeros out of the bullpen. Well, the Whitecaps right now have yet to take advantage of it.
2 outs here, and the first pitch to leadoff hitter Grant Williams is in for a strike.
I mean, we saw it from Stever and Chatham. We saw it from Broom and Mockimer in the double header game. Mockimer did surrender a couple of runs, but wound up facing through the entire lineup.
Williams takes a timeout in the batter's box. Avendano has started out all 4 batters he's faced with an 0-1 count in this inning. He's got 2 outs. His team down 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. The 0-1 is hit right into right center. And that one will drop in for a base hit for Grant Williams, the leadoff hitter. And Brickhouse will move to third after not moving for 2 hitters. So now a runner in scoring position for Bourne. A chance to make it a 6-3 game.
Yeah, this is a big run here with Turner Brown at the plate. There's always a chance for a, as they say, a blue pen and blast. It's going to be Gasper, Dunn, and Marty Costas due up for Brewster. So if one of those 2 first guys can get on, and Gasper's very good at that, now you've got a guy who's good at hitting home runs up as a tying run. But this is a big spot now for Bourne because if they're able to make it a 3-run advantage, it just makes it a lot harder for Brewster to kind of envision a comeback in the next frame. So an important hitter for Avendano here.
First pitch from Avendano to Turner Brown. In for another strike. That's 5 in a row. Avendano starting out strong with strikes here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Runners on first and third, the 0-1 count. That one's fouled high off the right field side. Jamie Shevchik and his team in the first base dugout. It's an 0-2 count now to shortstop for the Braves. Avendano trying to sustain this score. This team down 2 runs. 0-2 count. And that pitch cannot be framed by Mickey Gasper. He has to kind of lunge to get it. So that's ball number 1 to Turner Brown. One ball, 2 strikes. And there goes Grant Williams. And a little rundown here for Brickhouse. He tried to almost steal home, and Avendano with a quick swivel of his head runs over there and tags Williams out. A nice play by pitcher Avendano to get that third out and sustain the score. So it's going to be 5-3 going in to the top of the 9th inning. We're through 8. You're listening to Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan.
Whitecaps' last chance here in the top of the 9th inning. Mickey Gasper up to bat for Brewster, but a pitching change to tell you about. It's Ryan Feltner in for the Braves out of Ohio State. He'll take the mound for the Braves. And his first pitch to Gasper, in for a strike. Already ahead in the count is Feltner.
Feltner's got 3 saves already this season in appearances. 4 innings pitched, 2 hits allowed, no runs, 1 walk, 8 Ks.
The 0-1 pitch is fouled way out. Right behind Gasper, and you see just a cluster of kids running to get that foul ball. It's an 0-2 count to Mickey Gasper. Nobody on, no outs. The Whitecaps down 5-3. And fouled in the same place does Gasper, so it's an 0-2 count. Dunn and Costas set to bat in this inning. 0-2 pitch to Gasper is low and out, so that's ball number 1.
This is the guy you want if you've got your back against the wall, need a guy to get on base if you're Jamie Shevchik.
1-2 pitch is low in that will be called a ball, so it's a 2-2 even count. Fans in Bourne don't like that call, but Mickey Gasper sure does.
You're right about that.
2-2 counts even. Here comes the pitch from Feltner, and that one is hit right to the first baseman, and Spencer Brickhouse just runs, beats Mickey Gasper to first base, and that retires 1. Only 2 outs left for the Whitecaps, or 2 outs for the Braves to get a win. The Whitecaps trying to stay alive here. They're down 5-3. Nick Dunn now enters the batter's box for Brewster. First pitch is fouled right off, almost hit Marty Costas, who was warming up for the Whitecaps. 0-1 count. No runners on, 1 out here in the top of the 9th inning. 0-1 is low and misses on the corner. So it's a 1-1 count. Dunn's walked twice today. And he'll swing at the next pitch and lose his bat completely, just flung it around almost right to us, and Marty Costas' teammate will pick it up for him, deliver it to Dunn. Swinging hard at that last pitch, so it's a 1-2 count. He's got 2 strikes. The Whitecaps with their backs against the wall here, they're down 2 runs. Trying to make a comeback, try to complete the sweep here. Remember, they won twice yesterday against this very same Bourne Brave squad. The 1-2. In for a strike, got him looking. Nick Dunn froze up on that one, and now we got 2 outs. And Marty Costas is up. The Braves 1 out away from sealing the deal here at home.
And now, importantly, if Costas goes yard like he did in the first game of that doubleheader, it would only cut the lead in half. Brewster unable to get a man on for him.
2 guys that had got on base a lot today could not do it. Gasper and Dunn get out, and then Marty Costas just got down in the count, swung at the first pitch, and just tipped it foul a little bit. The bat boy able to pick it up just right in front of the backstop. 0-1. Down in the dirt. Drops before it crosses the plate, so it's a 1-1 even count. Again, 2 outs. 2 power hitters due in the lineup if Marty Costas can get on base. Chandler Taylor waiting on deck. The 1-1. That one's high and out. So it's a 2-1 count. Again, nobody on here in the top of the 9th inning. Two-one. Swung on. In for a strike for Marty Costas. So again, just 1 strike away from ending this game is Feltner. As you mentioned, he is the closer for this Bourne Braves squad. 3 saves already, looking for a 4th. And Marty Costas will hit one right to the second baseman, Grant Williams, who gets it to Brickhouse, the first baseman. Marty Costas goes down, and that's it. Bourne Braves defeat the Brewster Whitecaps 5-3 in this makeup game. A rainout that was supposed to happen a while ago, but it happened today, and the Braves got the win.
Have a great night.
Yeah, it's a tough loss to take for Jamie Shevchik's team because, again, they jumped out to an early lead. They got a couple of runs early, then they let Bourne come back into this game. And as you mentioned a couple of innings ago, Maura, if you take away the unearned runs from the equation, this game is deadlocked. They gave up 2 unearned runs in the second and third innings, each 1 run in those frames, and wound up losing the game by 2 runs. So, again, for Brewster, the defense not where they wanted it to be. They were able to get runners on, wound up putting 8 hits together in this game and walked 8 times as well against Bourne Brave pitching, but they were only able to scrape across just the 3 runs. It's A lot like a lot of the other losses that the Whitecaps have taken so far this year. It fills up the stat sheet, but it doesn't get them the W.
Well, we'll take a quick break again. The Bourne Braves just defeat the Brewster Whitecaps 5-3. When we come back, we'll hear from Jamie Shevchik and Ryan Avendano. Stay with us on the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network.
Don't go anywhere. The Whitecaps postgame show is coming up right after this.
That was huge for us. It's huge for the momentum going into tomorrow.
Only on the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network.
Welcome back to, you're listening to Whitecaps Radio Network. I'm Maura Sheridan alongside Carter Woodeel. We will hear from Aiden Doyle. He's got Jamie Shevchik and Ryan Avendano coming up. He'll talk to them. Connor Higgins drops his first game. He's had 3 starts. He was very good in his first 2, and today drops his first game. Not completely all his fault, you know, two unearned runs for the Whitecaps. Again, this would have been a game that was all knotted up had those errors not happened, but Higgins responsible for one of the errors, just overthrew a throw to Chandler Taylor. So a bit of a full team effort here in terms of how they lost. 3 errors total for the Whitecaps, and they left 11 on bases. These are 2 issues that I sometimes do sidelines, and I feel like Jamie Shevchik is just so sick of talking about these issues, but they're still looming over the Whitecaps. They really need to figure out these problems. Seems like the 2 big factors for this Whitecap squad.
Yeah, and it's tough because obviously defense needs to be improved. That's something you can work on in practice. That's something that you can start talking about. But at the end of the day, you know, Julian Infante is going to come back after the home run derby. I mean, Jamie Shevchik has said his name so many times when, like you were saying, more he keeps talking about this, and he really is kind of a capable defensive infielder that the Whitecaps need right now. And in terms of leaving guys on base, yes, obviously you'd like to see more power, you'd like to see more timely hitting, but the fact of the matter is they're playing baseball, and baseball can be weird sometimes. A lot of the times you wind up leaving guys on for a stretch, and then you have a stretch where you're able to get those timely hits. You just have to keep getting guys on base, and that's why I think kind of be frustrating from a coach's perspective or from a fan's perspective, because the Whitecaps, as I was talking about, they're leading the league in OPS, and their performance in this game is not going to change that. I mean, I haven't checked the numbers, but they wound up getting 8 hits and they walked 8 times. So it's not going to hurt that stat line, but it's just one of those things where with baseball, it's hard to kind of break out of that rut.
And it looks like Aiden Doyle has Ryan Avendano, so we'll send it down to him. Aiden, take it away.
Thanks, guys. Here with Ryan Avendano. Ryan, you came in, and after the your staff gave up 4 runs over the first 4 innings, you managed to go 3 1/3, didn't give up any runs of your own, struck out 4. How'd you find success out there on the mound today?
Just working ahead early, throwing fastball strikes, and then putting them away late with the curveball.
This is your first time facing the Bourne Braves. Obviously, you played them 2 times yesterday, beat them. This is the 3rd time in 2 days. I talked to Robert Broom after yesterday's game about how you guys kind of share secrets about the holes in these hitters' lineup. Did you talk to any pitchers before who faced them yesterday?
I know a couple guys that faced some of these dudes during the year. I'd faced a couple of them, and a lot of them are chasers. So I knew, like, late in counts, I could get them to chase low in the zone or chase off the plate. So that's really kind of what I tried to go for.
Tomorrow you play the Falmouth Commodores. It's your 2nd time facing them. First time you came out with a victory in the Whitecaps home opener. How can you repeat that success?
I think JR just needs to go out, have a good start, give us 5 strong innings, and then we just need to make plays in the field.
All right. Thanks a lot, Ryan.
Thanks, Aiden. That was Ryan Avendano. He came in for relief, pitched very well for the Whitecaps, but still the Whitecaps again fell 5-3 to the Bourne Braves. They played this team 3 times in a row, so they did technically win the series, so to speak. But Ryan Avendano came out very strong for the Whitecaps. For the Braves, Nick Johnson gets the win. Johnson is 2-0 now on the season. And Brewster moves to 6-5-1 while the Braves move up to 7-4. And now we got Aiden Doyle with Jamie Shevchik. Aiden, take it away.
Thanks, Maura. Here with Coach Shevchik. Coach, you scored 2 runs in the first inning today, but only got 1 over the next 8 frames. How do you find some more offensive consistency?
It's the same story that probably we're going to probably be talking about this quite a bit. We had opportunities to score, and situational hitting is where we're lacking right now. All we need to do is put the ball in play, put the ball anywhere on the ground, and we probably score 2 more runs. But again, that's not the case. Our pitching is good enough to keep us in games, and I think we're getting just enough offense to win a handful of these things. But we now have, I believe, 21 errors and 17 unearned runs, and that's totally unacceptable. That's not. You're not going to win many games like that. That's putting way too much pressure on our pitching staff and putting too much pressure on our offense. So that's the place where we need to clean up. And that's where the struggle is.
You talk about the defense, another 3 errors today. How do you talk to the defense? Is there a specific thing that you've noticed that is causing these issues, or is it just just a little nervousness maybe? What is the cause for this in your mind?
It's lack of concentration. There's too much focus anymore in college baseball on pitching and how far we can hit a baseball in a batting cage, and there's less focus on defense. Situational hitting is always going to be big, putting the ball in play, but there's not enough focus. There's no reward for guys that play good defense. You don't make all-star games by somebody playing great defense, and it's just lacking throughout the college game in general, and that's something that these guys are going to have to take a little bit more serious, because this is where we're losing games.
Connor Higgins got the start today. Didn't quite have the success that he had in his first 2 starts. What do you think was different here today at Doran Park from his first 2?
Once you get into the 3rd start, he's now doing something that's been different from school. He's starting and he's pitching in a regular rotation every 6-7 days, and he's not used to doing that. So there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, and there's going to be a little bit of a toll that's taken on his arm and his body. I think after he bounces back, he's got a 4th start and he gets in. We're going to keep him in the same role. So he's going to have to get used to this, but he's going to throw more innings this summer probably than he has at school. So this is going to be, you know, it's an adjustment to having to come in out of the bullpen to managing a game early on.
And I know you said you're going to rest him for a few days, but any update on Zach Lingenfelter's condition?
No, not yet. He feels a little bit better today. It's going to be strictly a touch and go and see where he's at. We're going to talk to his coaching staff, and we're going to see where he's going to be on tomorrow. If it's something where he keeps getting better, then we're going to look to insert him back into the lineup somewhere. But at this point, it's his health. So if he can't physically go, and we're at risk of doing any more damage to his back or his side or whatever he's got hurt here, then we're just going to play it. We're going to play it very cautiously.
All right, Coach. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks, Aiden, and as always, thank you, Coach Jamie Shevchik. It's interesting that he talked about situational hitting. Something that comes to mind is there was A.J. Graffinino in the top of the 8th. A.J. Graffinino at first, Hunter Bishop at second. 2 outs there, and just 2 really speedy guys. So as Jamie Shevchik said, a total possibility for them to come home on just 1 hit, at least Bishop, and Whitecaps not able to take advantage of that. That's just something that came to mind, an issue that's been looming over them all year.
And I tell you what, it means a lot. Those figures that Coach Shevchik gave in that interview about the errors and the unearned runs, I have them in my notebook. Those were spot on. He knows the numbers for his team right now. That's something that he is keeping track of, and you know, really revealing. You're going back to the situational hitting that you were talking about more, where he says, yeah, it's the same story. We're going to be talking about this a lot. It does sort of feel that way. You know, you mentioned that one specific play where Kyle Daughtris grounded out with a couple of runners on base, but we saw it some other times in this game too. I mean, the Whitecaps had a chance to add a 3rd run in the 1st inning. Strikeout from Hunter Bishop. In the 2nd inning, they wind up having 2 runners on, and then Chandler Taylor lines into a double play on that broken bat liner. And you know, not to single out any players, baseball is hard. Getting a base hit is a difficult thing to do, but it kind of it illustrates how the team as a whole is just having a difficulty pulling out the big hits in the big situations early this season.
So once again, the Brewster Whitecaps fall 5-3 to the Bourne Braves. Tomorrow, they will make another long trip to Falmouth, Massachusetts. They'll take on the Commodores, and then they'll be back in Stony Brook Field to play Chatham twice, but tomorrow a long road trip for them. So they're looking for a win to make up for this loss. Again, the Brewster Whitecaps drop 1 in Bourne. Thanks for listening. I'm Maura Sheridan alongside Carter Woodeel. Special thanks to our sideline reporter Aiden Doyle, and as always, Koki Riley is doing a great job writing those game stories for us. You're listening to Whitecaps Radio Network.